On the 7th of July, 2016, police in Naples, Florida, responded to shots fired in a wooded area near the 700 block of Goodall Road North. While searching the area, they discovered two deceased men. They had both been shot dead. They were identified as 18-year-old Xavier Sierra and John Vargas. Initially, police believed that the men had quite simply shot one another, but they soon came to discover that this wasn't the case. Welcome to Human Wreckage, where we explore the moments when ordinary people make extraordinary and often devastating choices. I'm your host, Thomas. Today's episode takes us to Naples, Florida, a quiet, sun-soaked community not often associated with violent crime. But beneath the calm surface of this coastal city, a tragedy unfolded, one driven by pain, rage, and a mother's fierce need to protect her child. This is the story of Connie Serbu. In the summer of 2016, Connie Serbu was a 41-year-old mother of two. On the outside, she appeared to be a devoted parent, living an unassuming life. But what few knew was that Connie had been carrying a terrible secret for years, a secret shared by her young daughter, one that haunted her every day. Years earlier, Connie's daughter told her something no parent ever wants to hear, that she had been sexually abused at the age of 6. The alleged abuser, a teenager named Xavier Sierra, who had once babysat her. It's unclear why Connie didn't immediately go to the police. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was disbelief, or maybe she was waiting for the right moment or the right plan. What we do know is that by July 2016, Connie had made a decision. She wasn't going to wait for justice. She was going to take it. Let's get into it. At the scene when police arrived was Connie Serbu, the sister of Vargas. She was the one who reported the shots fired. She informed police of her relationship with Vargas and said that Sierra was an acquaintance. She said that she was sitting in the car when the shooting took place and had no idea what had happened. When police spoke with Serbu, they noticed that she was unnaturally on edge and even blurted out, "It's all my fault." Furthermore, gunshot residue testing revealed that Serbu's hands tested positive for residue, indicating that she had recently fired a gun. Police soon discovered that this case was much more complex than initially believed. Sierra's grandmother informed police that shortly before his murder, Serbu had come to his house and asked him if he wanted to make an extra bit of cash by helping her build some furniture. Marisol Sierra said that she found this to be quite strange considering the fact that Sierra and Serbu had fallen out years prior and hadn't seen each other or spoken to each other since. With the evidence against her piling up, Serbu confessed that she had killed Sierra and that the murder was revenge. "So I don't care. He raped my daughter. I don't care. He sodomized my daughter. She told me everything that happened," she explained. Serbu confessed that she and Vargas had picked Sierra up at his home. In the car, the siblings had two guns, two stun guns, a potato to use as a silencer, an ice pick, plastic gloves, bags, and paper towels. They were driving him to a wooded area, and en route, Serbu began questioning Sierra about the assault on her daughter. Sierra, seemingly realizing that he was in grave danger, attempted to flee from the car when it stopped. Vargas tackled Sierra to the ground, and they started wrestling over one of the guns, during which Vargas was shot once in the stomach. Serbu then opened fire with the second gun, shooting Sierra 6 times and killing him. An investigation uncovered that it was Memorial Day weekend the year prior that Serbu's daughter confided in her mother that Sierra had been molesting her. After the revelation, Serbu told several of her friends and said she wanted to kill Sierra for what he had done. She even told her husband that she was going to do something, and that he would have to take care of their 2 children without her. She was charged with second-degree murder, and her trial was slated for October of 2019. During her opening statement, State Attorney Nicole Mira said that Serbu was motivated solely by the fact that Sierra had molested her daughter. Mira revealed to the courtroom that Serbu's daughter had also confessed to her babysitter that Sierra had molested her when she was around 5 years old. During the trial, it came out that Vargas was intellectually disabled, and because he had a mind like a child, Serbu easily persuaded him to help her with the attack. It was also revealed that the siblings had purchased a separate phone for exclusive communication with Sierra. On the evening of the murder, Serbu and Vargas left her home wearing dark clothing with hats and their shoe soles covered in duct tape. They had picked Sierra up at a Winn-Dixie near his home and headed towards the wooded area where he would die. After 1 week of testimony, Serbu was found guilty of second-degree murder. She is currently awaiting sentencing, but faces up to life in prison. And that brings us to the end of today's episode, where we explored the tragic and deeply disturbing case of Connie Serbu, a mother who took justice into her own hands with irreversible consequences. Connie Serbu believed she was acting on behalf of her daughter, protecting her, seeking retribution, and finding closure. But what unfolded instead was a violent act of vigilante justice that claimed the life of an 18-year-old young man, Nicholas Jackson, and shattered countless others in the process. Regardless of what Connie believed Nicholas had done, the justice system exists for a reason, and when people bypass it, the line between right and wrong becomes dangerously blurred. This case challenges us to ask uncomfortable questions. What drives someone to become judge, jury, and executioner? What happens when our most primal instincts, love, protection, rage, override our better judgment? And where do we draw the line between justice and vengeance? It's important to remember that multiple lives were destroyed in this case. Xavier Sierra lost his life in a premeditated ambush. His family was left to grieve a son and brother, someone who, despite serious allegations, never had the chance to defend himself in court. Connie's daughter, whose safety she wanted to protect, now lives with the weight of knowing that her disclosure led to a murder and her mother's incarceration. And Connie herself, a woman with no prior criminal record, now faces the rest of her life behind bars, separated from the very children she was trying to protect. There are no winners here, only victims of trauma, of rage, and of irreversible decisions made in the heat of pain. True crime stories like this aren't just meant to shock or disturb us. They should also invite deeper thinking about how we respond to harm, how we trust our legal systems, and how we support survivors of abuse without turning to destructive extremes. If someone you love has experienced trauma or abuse, it's critical to seek professional help and legal counsel. Taking matters into your own hands, no matter how justified it may feel in the moment, can only lead to more loss. Thank you for joining us today. If this episode brought up difficult feelings for you, or if you or someone you know is struggling with abuse or trauma, we encourage you to reach out to a licensed professional or local support resources. Help is out there and healing is possible. If you found today's story compelling, please consider rating and reviewing the podcast. It helps others find us and supports the work we do to tell these important, complicated stories with care. Until next time, stay safe, stay compassionate, and remember, justice is not vengeance. And in a world full of pain, let's choose to heal, not harm. This is Human Wreckage, and I'm your host, Thomas. Thanks for listening.